Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today I'm going to play the Libyan Oil Crescent. I thought the Oil Crescent was this, but I think on retrospect it's more like this. So my map is sort of really off center. I could probably put this on a small map and have the same benefit, because all this is GNA, and I can't remember what GNA is now. What GNA stands for, something like the National Assembly. Great National Assembly. I don't know. I'm not going to bother finding out, because it's sort of the thing I do. I couldn't stop until I find out, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, so when I first sort of read it, it sounded as though the West. No, it's not George Orwell. West Oceania. I thought it was these people fighting these people, but it's not really. This is sort of the government that's in Tripoli, or is it in? I need to get a map. What's this? All right. So basically, this is the sort of Tripoli side, and sod it, Libya. Wikipedia is the answer to it all. So, National Salvation Government? No, okay, Government of National Accord. So the Government of National Accord are basically based over here, sort of up in this part here, in Tripoli. Basically, let me just have a look. Map, yep, Tripoli. And these people, the Libyan National Army, not to be confused with the National Liberation Army, because you might get confused like that, because obviously you know who the National Liberation Army are. They're based in Tobruk, which is over here, and these units here is the Benghazi Defence Brigade, who are actually probably based more on the it's also sort of lopsided. There's another of these things. Anyway, so they're basically they're sort of they're a mixture. They're a group of Islamist rebels, militants, that basically formed the Benghazi Defence Brigade to group together to protect themselves against the Libyan National Army. I think the Libyan National Army is actually the Government of National Accord, I think, are recognised by the United Nations, and these people aren't. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. You can go and read it at your leisure. But that's the situation. So you've got these little guys here that are sort of actually, quite a small force relatively. But basically what looks like has happened fairly recently, starting last month, they've sort of moved along here and taken all these oil towns. Now I've put them in here. This is actually an oil town in the first instance. Zuitina. So it says they've captured Zuitina, but if you look at the sort of one of the maps, I'm not even going to even try and find it, it sort of shows them around here. So either there or they're there, but they basically should be in Benghazi. Now, I just read another little sort of thing that I've got a link to, and let me just see if I can actually just get to it and find it, because I wanted to just get in and play it. It's the McClatchy DC link. I've no idea what that is, but basically in there it states that these units are probably going to go and try and take out Benghazi next. So I've given that a red objective. But the BBC site seems to think that any further eastward expansion is going to be unlikely. And I wouldn't imagine that they would do that. I'm not sure whether or not this McClatchy site is sort of more sort of one of these, what do you call it when they, alarmist sites, you know, next they're going to take over Egypt or something, you know. But anyway, so what we're going to, because I imagine what will happen is that once they get their action, or they'll come and take it all out. But I think what they want to do is not damage any of the facilities, because it sounds as though all they've done is really driven up there and sort of plonked their, you know, their Technic trucks and whatever armaments they've got outside the ports, and the workers are not going to work, and so they haven't really sort of done any fighting directly. I think it's one of those sorts of engagements, and whether or not there will be fighting to recover them. But we're sort of not doing. Well, I don't know. You can read it as much as you like. I mean, it's all sort of hot off the press. So anyway, what we've got in here, quite a lot of units, basically a mixture of irregulars and motorised units. So I'm just going to really sort of try and play it now. Well, let's see what we can do here. Right. So he's got 3, so I'm going to actually plonk him there to create a zone of control across there. Him there. And him there. I don't think I can move there. I mean, I can move there because I'm irregulars, but do I have the movement? Yes. But I've got no movement left. That's frustrating. It doesn't necessarily matter, but it's sort of a bit frustrating. But basically irregulars can go through zones of control and everything, so okay, so that's going to be worth 5, 10, because they're going to be up to 5 because they're irregulars doing their sneaky attack on this unit. So in fact, if that is the case, then they should be able to win straight off from there. Let's see what happens. DE, 7-1 DE. So they did get a 10 as I predicted. I mean, I should do because I wrote the game, so I should know sort of I should know eventually good at sort of check, but they haven't got any movement left. But I should now be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How much movement I've got left? Because I'm going on roads. Look at that. I'll be able to get just there, but no assault. And that's quite a long way. It's quite a dynamic movement, really. I'm going to move him there. And then there. Fives. I mean, that should give me plenty. I don't even need all that. DR with the worst dice roll on the planet. Okay. Let's see if we can push this unit back as well. DE, 6-1, DE. So we're certainly exerting an authority in this area. That's quite interesting. Also, this sort of changed. 5 minutes left, so let's get on to the Libyan National Army turn. They do get reinforcements later. Now, what I was in two minds as to what to do with this, and I think I'm going to leave him there actually, because he is actually performing a role of defending against this, but I think it might be better to actually move there as a defensive position, because I'm sort of, trying to do it properly, because you've got to assume that these are hostile units, and they're going to just sort of sit there, worried. He's going to try and recover. Now, do we come south with two motorised units? And I think we will, because we know that there's going to be reinforcements. Probably can't get much further than that. I'm not going to do the attack because it'll be a 2-to-1, and there's not really much point. I mean, the worst I can do is push him back. It's not as though I really want to really advance. Would there be any point in advancing? If I could get into Zuitina, that would be good, but I don't think I can. Nope, I'm not going to do anything. Okay, well, should DR. Okay. Five to 1 DR. I'll leave that. I'm going to try and eliminate that unit. Yep, that sort of makes it a little simpler on this front. Haven't got any movement left. Yep. Should have moved there, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so we can start to take out these objectives. You see they're starting to change colour. They're going to stand there. I think they're going to try and hold. Okay, so here we get some bigger units on. This is why they've been holding. So they've taken the ports. That's how we stand now, as it is. There's only about 30 seconds left. I'm not going to do any more. But so that McClatchy report indicates that what happens next is they then try to move all these units into Benghazi. And if you look at the reinforcement schedule, then it's not going to be that simple. Benghazi is a dense city and with fortifications, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. But it'd be interesting to see whether or not this current setup can do that. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to do another video, I just wanted to plonk this out there. And speak later. Cheers, bye. Okay, I'll do another 15-minute blast. Why not? Whose turn is it? Benghazi Defence Brigade. What? Not sure what I actually want to do. Yeah, that's right, we just sort of... Oh, did we? Okay. It's difficult. I don't want to pause for too long, so I just want to play it, just get some movement out. But you've got to divide up a unit. You've got to take these units out, take these objectives out, which is going to take time, and face off whatever's coming down here with whatever you've got here. So on top of that, you've got to defend from these units. There's not a lot of them, but taking them out would be good. But you can't do it without assuming that these guys are not going to attack. So you've still got to leave it some sort of defensive force. I think that's maybe a bit much. Probably bringing one motorised unit, one motorised company back this way. There's 3 irregulars. I'm going to bring one motorised company back. So we moved out. And one irregular company from there. It's going to take a lot longer, but I'll be able to come back maybe. So that's their task. It doesn't matter how long it takes. No one threatening them. And one more irregular unit from here. Okay, and seeing as it's done it that way, I will remove one more of these irregular units. So that leaves me a task force over here of 9 strength points, which sort of is stronger than theirs, but he's sort of trying to defend there, so they're sort of not really likely to risk losing everything in a sort of 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 assault on these refineries, rather probably waiting for these units to come back. Plus, probably waiting for air support, so they will get air power. And these units will be responsible for taking out this little oil facility here, and everything else is going to try and move up here to Benghazi. The only thing I would say is that when I was pausing, I was thinking that I will put some reinforcements for the National Liberation Army that appear here, because they control quite a lot of the southern areas as well. So maybe one of these or 2 of these, one here, turns 4 and 5 or something like that. That would make this plan a little tougher, but I haven't done that at the moment. So and what I'm going to do now is how much do I need? I've got no irregulars, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4-to-1 with 10%. So 4-to-1. I'll do it. 4-to-1, I mean, it's not bad. DR, that's fine. So he's only got 2 in there. Depression 0, depression, I think, okay. DE, so that was good. That takes out 2 units. And he's still got some movement. Okay. Okay. I should have moved him into one of the objectives at least. Okay. So they've taken a pounding. I've lost 2 units there, lost that unit, lost a couple of units from here. But they've got this mechanised unit now. Which will give them a plus on that as well with the surround. I think it's worth at least trying. What's it going to be? They're 6. It's going to be about like a 1 to. It's going to be like a 2 to 1, I think. Depends how depressed they are. Depression 2. It could be a 1 to 1 or pushing a 2 to 1. 2 to 1 and then the exchange. Well, that could have gone the other way. I think that's probably good enough. So they're sort of holding their ground, but it's a difficult situation. Again, I'm not moving any of this because we're contending with this and this. So it's slow going over here, and it's definitely slow going there. What's the situation there? -6. Still slow going no matter where it is. They're entrenched now, but now we've got some more mechanised units coming up here, so we've really got to sort of make some rapid ground here. Depression 1, depression 3. Trying to do it quickly, I'm not thinking too much, but I mean, that's going to be good odds, isn't it? 7 to 1 DE, that's what I wanted, just to sort of keep the pressure up here. I mean, mainly because I had all these irregulars in there. Probably didn't need as much as I had. I'll probably get a good odds on this one as well. 7 to 1 DE. Oh, look at that. How much movement? Look at 1 point. Oh, they're out of movement, aren't they? Movement 0. Okay, so what have we got against that? He's worth 3. No depression 1, 2, 3, 4. But they're all motorised against mechanised. It's going to be tough. But so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 3 to 1 plus the surround, probably a 4 to 1. Let's try. Get some momentum here. Might get Benghazi. 5 to 1, a DR. So we've really got some momentum going here against the Libyan National Army. One of the things with these sorts of games, once at this sort of stage, I'm waving my hand around articulating, but once we get to this sort of stage, the person that sort of has the initiative, and they're not taking any damage. I mean, we're not taking any damage here, and they're just losing units after units. You know, what if I add these 2 reinforcements down here? That will make a big difference on their ability to take Benghazi, because they do. They control all of the sort of southern parts. You know, they control basically all of the east. You know, you've got to remember the Benghazi Defence Brigade were only in here. You know, they didn't have anything else. They just come along this road and taken these places, so it shouldn't be this easy in reality. Let's move him up. So we now got even more units coming along here. And is this doable? Can I move into there? Or maybe I don't want to push things too far. If I had these irregulars, I would. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a safe game, like that. Here comes some artillery. That's a pretty, that's a difficult place for the artillery to arrive. I think it's goodbye artillery. That's going to be 9-1, isn't it? I shouldn't laugh, really, you know, I mean, they were just doing their job. This is interesting. The irregulars won't have their huge +5 bonus because the stack in there is worth 6. So they're basically just going to be their regular 3, so we don't really have the odds, and I'm not going to try it. 3 minutes or so. Okay, so now it's the Libyan National Army turn, and they get their air power. And I think this huge stack here needs to be, I don't know, but they don't, it's that first turn entry thing, and I still haven't sorted that out. I have to wait till next turn. And we're not going to be attacking, so that's that. And there's some armour, look. Well, I think this is an all or nothing. I'm not thinking of the odds. I mean, there's no way of making that bigger or better. Oh, 1-2. That's what I like. I like those. That was good. Because Benghazi shouldn't have been easy. And I pulled them back into there because it's fortified, it's dense, urban. They're mechanised units, so we've just light-skinned, soft targets, and we're at half strength going in there and all sorts. Or at least some sort of reduction. And so I failed to take Benghazi, but even at a 1-2 we could have done something. A DR would have eliminated those units. So they're in dire straits at the moment. I'm still leaving these because I'm assuming they've got operational directives to take these units out, but for one, I'll move him into there. He's been sat there for the whole game, not doing anything in that hex. Okay, so now we should have our air power. Come on. 0.8, 0.6, no effect. Okay, well it's better than nothing. And I think we have one chance. Two to 1, a DR. Well, that was good, a good die roll, and it's forced them over there. And that means that I'm going to move into there. But I'm not going to move into Benghazi, because if I do, they'll surround me again. Well, they need the DR. That at least gives me an escape rate. It's now 14 minutes 35. I don't think I'm going to do this anymore, but obviously forcing on Benghazi. Interesting. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheers, bye.